These are the first beams I've assembled that don't really fit flush. If you look, see kind of like big gaps here. It looks like they didn't maybe route out all the material that was supposed to come out so they fit flush. But the like 20-degree pitch on it is nice and uniform. So we've got the long beams and the short beams assembled. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to episode 3 for the Costco Gazebo. In today's video, as you guys can guess, as you see right in front of me on the floor, we're going to be finishing building the roof. If you guys missed the first 2 episodes, episode 1 we built the entire frame including all the beam structures and everything, got that in position. Episode 2 we drilled the concrete and leg bolted everything down. If you guys want to watch back on those videos, I'll have links down below as well as up above on the screen. And to get to this point, we're probably about 12 hours in for doing all the framing, the mounting, and building the 3 roof panels. I got 1 more to go, which I'm going to build with you guys on camera, and then we can unbox the aluminum roofing and we can actually get all the roofing assembled to the top of the framing, and you actually pick each piece up and lift it on. And I'll show you guys every step involved. If you guys like this type of content, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me a comment what you guys think down below as well. I'll make sure I respond to your guys' comments.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Just be mindful on the bottom screw not to put it, you want to kind of angle it the other way because you don't want to drill it right out the bottom of the wood because you're kind of going in at an angle already. Started with the screw over on the other side on the top and only put 1 in. That allows me to pivot this joint to get it fully lined up, and then I can go back to the other side and put the bottom screw in. What I typically like to do at these angles, since this board is kind of going down at an angle, I like to take these screws and kind of shoot them in at a slight angle so it's going more towards the center of the beam and not pushing towards the edge. So not an extreme angle, just probably like, 5 to 8 degrees. Okay, behind me guys, we have the roof framing complete. So just kind of a few things I want to add. When you guys secure the lower beam or the lower 2 pieces, they're not one big piece, so just do the best you can to make sure that these are as even as they can be with spacing. So kind of put a little bit of thought into when you secure these so the middle lines up, because we're going to be attaching this other piece right here to the other side and screwing it down. And as far as assembly with this, I really haven't had too many problems on the smaller rafters, which I just shot a little bit of video for you guys to see. I did have a little bit of trouble with the assembly process, and the reason why is there on the inside of this piece, which I didn't film, there's pilot holes that go through the beam here. The wood screws that are supposed to go into those pilot holes, the pilot holes are too big, and so the wood screws kind of strip it out, and it's very easy to strip them out too, so they didn't really line up the best. But other than that, everything else is fit together perfect. The big beams go together with ease for the big part of the rafters. So yeah, just use caution on that, guys. Just kind of a tip for you guys. We're gonna go ahead and attach our roof brackets last. Small hole goes to the bottom, big hole to the top. Not too difficult overall, guys. That took me about 45 minutes to assemble with filming. I put the other one together in about 30 minutes. So not bad at all. If you have somebody to help you hold stuff, it makes it a little bit easier and a little bit faster. I like how all the roof brackets, they're all painted or powder coated. I like all the hardware, it's all zinc coated. I like the hex bit that they've got on there versus a traditional screw. So you don't have to worry about, I haven't stripped a single bolt or screw or anything out. All the hardware goes together very simply. All right, so we're going to move into the next phase of assembly, and we're going to be wrapping up the roof panels. So we've got the sheathing on for the roof on the large and a small, and I'm going to walk you through the assembly of each one of those. We'll start with the small one, and then we'll move to the big one. The nice thing with it is everything is clearly labeled, so you've got stickers on all the roof material. It tells you which one goes where. You're going to want to make sure that you remove, there's plastic, so you're going to remove plastic filming on each side. It's clear on one and blue on the other. I like to just lay all the paneling out like it shows in the instructions. When you peel it, the clear side goes to the top, which is this side. That faces up, the clear. The blue, the other side, is gonna go face down, so you should have these ridges that look like this. The outside edges overlap, just like that. And this is the edge, guys. You can kind of see how you want it flush. That's what it shows. I mean, it's not perfect. There's some places it overhangs a little bit more. But I mean, this isn't a perfectly straight board that it's going onto. The framing has some imperfections when you assemble it, which you guys will see. I'm going at a slight angle on all these upper boards that are kind of angled. And also don't mind these metal pieces. It was kind of windy out here, and the metal roof was starting to kind of lift up, as you guys can just see there at the end. So that's kind of holding it down while I get everything bolted in place. So these are those holes for the both panels. You want to make sure line up before you start screwing stuff down. You can see roughly this is the amount of overhang that you guys are going to have on the bottom. Everything's securely mounted. Make sure you don't over tighten these. I mean, it's on a level 1, and you can see where the seal is starting to kind of bulge out. So just don't over tighten it. You don't want to bend this metal, and you don't want to blow your seals out. That's going to help keep the water out. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good overall, guys. You can see how everything is nice and flush. A smidge of an overhang at the top. That's kind of how it looks, but this side as well, just a little bit of a overhang in certain areas, a little bit more than others, but it all lines up. And then we'll put the trim pieces on at the end after I show you guys how to do the sheathing on the big. So as you come down here and you look, you can kind of see where the board's going to be at, and you're basically trying to get an inch back from the edge. So you're want to line it up so you're going down into the center of the beam. You should have a slight overhang, which you can see. You should have a slight overhang, which you can see just like the little tip of my finger, and then from there it's pretty much flush all the way down the sides. That's the over tightening that I was talking about. You don't want to have the seal, crushed and outside. You want it inside, so it's a weather tight seal for rain. So that wasn't too bad. Pretty time consuming to put all those screws in, or those bolts. Plan on probably about 4 hours to just take all the wrapping off and screw all those down and get them all lined up perfectly. Next thing we're going to do is get the trim on. And if you guys find this type of content helpful, make sure you help the channel out by hitting the thumbs up and subscribe. If you missed the first episode, we did the full frame assembly. We did the leg bolt video second. We've also been doing some projects in the yard. We're doing like a backyard transformation series. So we also installed turf, which there's a video for that. And then we had our dream patio poured. We've got a video for that. I'll put a link in the description for all that down below. Even though the plastic was such a pain to remove, it was really nice that it's on there, because look how good of the condition is on all this aluminum roofing. There's not a scratch on any of it. And this is a, they call it a graphite gray, which is kind of a really nice subtle color. I know they make other colors I've seen, like red and stuff like that, which probably would have matched better for our kind of desert vibe that we have going on back here, but it's a really beautiful color. I'm really happy with the way all this stuff went together. It went together pretty easily, except for just the framing on the top of the little ones. The pre-drilled pilot holes only hiccup, but everything else, yeah, went together with ease. I've never built one of these, and I didn't think it was too hard. And if I can do it, you guys can definitely do it. So if this video does anything, I hope it gives you the confidence to know when you go see that Costco gazebo in the store and you're thinking, oh, you know, I see the 3 boxes. Is this something I can do? I'd say, heck yeah, you guys go for it. If you've got, you know, a little bit of will, a little bit of way, and if you've got some basic hand tools, go for it. And yeah, definitely want to have a power tool to do this. If you guys don't have a drill, I've had this DeWalt. My wife bought it for me for Christmas quite a few years ago. I definitely would recommend that. I'll put a different link for all the different fittings and stuff that I was using to convert it, as well as the drill I have, in the description below for it. So I hope this video gives you the in-depth detail that you guys need to just easily put this thing together and save some time. So you guys can see on the edge kind of how it's going to line up. I mean, it's only going to really fit one way if you're trying to center these 2 panels here in the middle, which is what it wants. And you don't put any of the weather stripping seal. We've got that, which we're going to use on the top, but you do not put that on the bottom, because you want the rain, as it, you know, comes down the roof, you want it to be able to come out and basically drip at the edge past the wood onto the ground. So when you're looking at the upper trim, you've got where the holes drill through, and as you tilt it, you have this little channel right in the middle. So you got the outer edge, you got this channel, so we're going to run the tape right along that. What worked good for me is getting all the trim pieces laid out next to every roof panel, so they're all ready to go and ready to install. I wanted to take time just to show you guys in the manual. When you look at this picture for this little roof beam, it looks like maybe the tips are supposed to touch flush, which I originally did when I installed them. However, if you think about how all 4 of these pitches come together as like the triangles touch, you want all of your pieces to basically be flush with the end of the wood framing. You don't want it to extend past. And that goes for the large beam as well. You're just trying to make sure that everything is pretty much flush, so it all lines up as they come up and pitch together. Or these are all aluminum panels, so none of this will ever rust or go bad. And as far as some of the differences, when you look at the big panel, it pretty much goes together the same. This left side here, which is shorter, it's the exact same size as what's on the other ones. It's just the right side panel, you guys can see, is a little bit bigger. Other than that, it goes together the exact same way. I have been looking at a Costco gazebo for probably about the last 5 years. In my old house back in Seattle, where it rains all the time and we didn't have a covered back porch, I always wanted to get the 12x12 version of one of those. I just couldn't bring myself to spend the money. And this guy here, with what Costco was selling it for at the time that I made this video, was $16.99 for the 12x14, which I thought was a fantastic deal. It was too good of a deal to pass up. I wanted to get you guys a quick peek at the underside with kind of the roofing on there, so you can kind of see how it all lays out. One thing I wanted to mention as well is Yardistry does a really good job. They put a little bit of extra hardware in each one of the screw and like bolt fasteners. There's a few extras of each one, so if you drop one, lose one, or missing one, you've got a few extras to make sure you can get everything bolted down and secure properly. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave today's video at this point. I will be back in less than a week from today, and I will upload the video of us finally getting all the roofing on this thing. I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.